This is the Trek /8. It's marketed as Trek's enduro machine. Like the Remedy, it's got 160 millimeters of travel up front with a 150 millimeter frame, but it's got 29-inch wheels. The 8 retails in the US for $3,700. The /8 seems to be marketed more toward enduro racers. I'll get into the specs later on in the video. Right now I want to go over some of my impressions. Once you get it up to speed, it rolls really fast. It really holds a straight line and takes some effort to get it to toss around. This is a big bike. When I'm riding it, I feel like I'm on the bike instead of in the bike. This bike really likes to hug the ground. It takes quite a bit of speed to get it airborne. As you can imagine, this thing shines on big, rough downhill, where the wheels and the suspension seem to make obstacles disappear. The active pivot braking system really seems to work and seems to keep that rear wheel glued to the ground. This bike inspires confidence. I was able to hit the biggest drops I've ever done easily. Here is the beast in its natural state. Up front is 160 millimeter travel RockShox Yari RC. The wheels are the Bontrager Line Comp 30. They're both boost front and rear, and they're tubeless ready. The 54-tooth rapid drive hub comes in handy on technical climbs. If you just need to ratchet the pedals, it really engages quick. The grips are the XR Trail Elite lock-on grips. The brakes are the SRAM Guide R hydraulic disc brakes. The bar and stem are both Bontrager. The handlebar is the Line 35 millimeter with 27.5 millimeters of rise, 780 millimeters wide. The frame is the Alpha Platinum aluminum with the active braking pivot. It's Boost 148 in the back. It's got the knock block, Evo Link, tapered head tube, the Minnow Link, internal cable routing, and it's 150 millimeters of travel. The drivetrain is the SRAM GX Eagle 12-speed with the Truvative descended crank. The rear shock is the RockShox Deluxe RT3 reactive with through shaft. Dropper post is the Bontrager Line. The spec tires are the Bontrager XR4 Team issue, which are tubeless ready. These are 29 by 2.4s. I kind of think that most people that are in the market to buy this bike will probably swap them out for a downhill casing tire with more aggressive tread. I expected this thing to do really well downhill. At 33 pounds, this is not an XC bike. But it actually climbs surprisingly well. It felt kind of like my Fuel on steroids. On steep or tech climbs, out of the saddle climbing is tough because of bob, and it will definitely wander. But I usually climb seated, so if you get way up on the nose of the saddle and spin, it'll climb anything. Even though the XR4 tires aren't my favorite, they did perform surprisingly well with traction on some very slick and wet trails. Even though this bike is definitely made for going downhill, I rode it all day long. I climbed everything I had to go down, and it was not a big deal. You're not going to win any PRs in the climbs, but if I can climb this thing all day long, anybody can. Well, the ride's done, and that was a blast. If you have any questions about anything that I rode today, go ahead and leave a comment down below. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you're like me and refuse to act your age, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching.